Hello?
This is Timothy.
Yes, this is Tim.
It's Nick Hexum.
Hey, Nick. How are you, bud?
Real good. For my Bluetooth ears to kick in there, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, good. I'm good. Let's roll.
Awesome. Dude, thank you guys so much for, taking time out of your day to, you help us out and be a part of the magazine, and it's really much appreciated.
Happy to have the support.
I want to say 20 years ago, you guys were on the cover of No Cover. Do you remember that at all?
No, I don't.
It was a San Diego-based magazine. We're going to put the cover, the picture of the cover inside of the article.
Oh, cool.
So you guys will be able to see it.
I'm sure we look a little different.
Just a little bit. All right, so we're here to talk about Mosaic, your guys' 12th album. It's coming out the 23rd of June. I've heard about 4 songs of the 7 that was sent over to me, and 2 of them stood out to me. Our Family was one of them, and I think it's Too Much to Think.
Do you mean Inside Our Home?
Inside Our Home. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Inside Our Home. And
cool.
And Too Much to Think. Those ones really stood out to me. Inside Our Home, I interpreted that as more of a family, about family.
Yeah.
Or it could be about the band too, right?
It really is a family song, and I guess I always wanted to write a song on that subject, but it's hard to find a cool way to say it. But
yeah.
It really came out nicely, and it's a huge part of our lives. All the guys in 311 are married, and 4 of us have multiple kids. So, things have changed for the better with that. I jokingly say that, I had my first daughter, Echo, and then it just started raining 311 babies. And it hasn't stopped since then.
It's such being a father, like, I understand, like, how you feel, because when in my art, I do radio, and in my art, it's like you love your family so much, and you sort of want to incorporate them in your art because it's so. But then, I worry about, the cool way to do it, to keep people interested. And you guys really captured that in the song. And it's like to a point where I was like, damn, I want to write a song. I'm not a writer, but I want to write a song about my family, so my wife will like me more or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what music is at its best. It allows you to express things that are hard to express. And because if you say it with the coupling of words and music, it's so much more than either one alone, where you can really tap into painting a picture, a feeling that really helps people relate. That's what people want in life. That's why we seek relationships, and the core of that word is relate. You know what I mean? And so we want to relate with other people. We want to feel understood and feel a connection. That's why there's sports teams, and that's why people like bands, because when you're watching that band, you relate with the band and the other people that are related. It's just that people love that collective experience, and that kind of is what music is all about to me. I got really far off track, but it was fun.
No, it's cool. I got a real quick. I got a question pertaining to that. Is it hard for you as a father when you're off on tour and you come back to rekindle that relationship with your children?
I think the hard part of it is that it's such a gear shift from the lifestyle of, when you're on the road, everything is how you want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you come home and there's just, a lot of parenting is picking up after them. Let's be honest. So the difference between all this me time and, your own personal space to go to family life, it does take a day or two where I really have to work on just being super extra patient because it's so different. But I absolutely love it.
I was in the service for about 12 years, and that's one of the reasons why I left. I could have just held on for 8 more years and retired, but I was afraid of risking that relationship I had with my children. Yeah. So, at all, does that ever come into your head, like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't do a tour this year because of the kids, or?
No, because, in total, we're gone less than a quarter of the time, maybe like a fifth of the year is how much we're gone. And then when we're home, we are home. Like, we have much more time with the kids than your average 9-to-5 dad, because I was at home swimming with my daughter in the middle of the day a couple hours ago. So, we do get still plenty of home time.
Nice. I like that. You guys, for your 12th album, Mosaic, you guys hired Scotch Ralston.
And John Feldman.
Okay. Talk to me about that decision and what was the thought process behind that.
Well, Scotch, we've had the longest relationship of any of the people we've worked with as far as studio goes. He's been involved since music, Grassroots, Blue Album. At that time, he was more of an assistant engineer, young guy, and then so all the way through, he's been involved in most of our albums, but then there was a couple album cycles where he was away working with Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros, and then the time was right for him to come back into the fold and be our live sound man. And then we said, you know what, he knows us so well, and he just kind of started working on songs, and he would like channel me or channel Essay. Like, he could do these impersonations that were like, why didn't I think of that idea? He sounds like just like me. But, so it was super helpful on Stereolithic to have him really keeping the ball rolling for us with working on all these songs. And we were dusting off all these old kind of forgotten about demos, or he called it like hard drive gold mining, where he went through and found these old songs. Like Tranquility is for me really a great song that had fallen out. It had never gone anywhere. And so he helped champion that song on Stereolithic, our last album. So we just had a lot of great momentum from that experience, and it was just obvious for us to go back in to work with him. And then I've also been really good friends with John Feldman from our days when we toured together. He's the lead singer of Goldfinger. So, I just, knowing him socially, said, man, let's get in there and try and write a song. And what you hear in Too Much to Think was basically written within the first hour of our first session together. So it was like, okay, we're on to something here. So then we ended up doing 4 more songs with him. So there's 12 songs with Scotch and 5 songs with John Feldman. So
with Too Much to Think, I can really relate to that song too, because like when you come home from work, like you're just buzzing, you know what I mean? And it's hard for you to get grounded and get back adapted to family life. And so, my vice is, if you can call it a vice, is I smoke cannabis, and it really puts me, it normalizes who I am, and it lets me let go of work and embrace family. So.
Absolutely, and that's kind of what the song is painting a portrait of. In the verses, they sound a little bit more dark. It's kind of about, the stress and confusion of modern life, and then the choruses find, an escape, but it's not like a destructive kind of thing. It's just it's something that we all kind of go through back and forth in like work mode and play mode. So I'm really happy with that song, and it was fun for me to kind of sing it in a new part of my voice, so getting up in the falsetto on those choruses, especially when it breaks all the way down, so it's just like me and a offbeat guitar. So that's definitely like a new sound, because most songs traditionally the chorus is the biggest part. So to have like a breakdown chorus like that was kind of ballsy, it felt like, and it turned out pretty cool.
Nice. It turned out very well. I really liked it. On top of that, I remember listening to an interview that you have done. And in the interview, you were talking about taking a cannabis break for a tour. When you do something like that, what are your coping methods? Because a lot of my friends, a lot of my, people I associate with, they need that breakdown, that separation and something to really relax from a long day. What did you use as a coping method to cope with, stress or a long day?
Yeah, I always kind of seek refuge in physical activity. I go through different phases. Like, for a while, it was long distance running, and lately it's been basketball and, hikes outside and stuff like that. So for me, there's, different escapes that you can find, and you just got to keep things in moderation and keep things in balance. I also said in a song, anything all the time's a drag, I say. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta feel both sides of the yin and yang to remain healthy.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that one. And what's funny is when I took my cannabis break, I wanted to see if I could do it, and I filled that in with judo. I started taking judo classes with my son, my boy, and so me and him were just in. At the end of the day, I was so tired that I didn't even want to eat. I mean, let alone smoke. So I take the shower, I do a little bit of grubbing and just go to bed. So it definitely, that's a great coping method. I heard that you guys have your own beer.
Yes, we do. Amber Ale is just a natural fit because the guys kind of liked Amber Ale, and that's such a big song for us. So, I would say SA and Peanut really took the lead on that because they like different craft beers and stuff. So they did a lot of formulation and trying different things and making notes and different pointers, working with Rock Brothers Brewing, which is out of Tampa. And so it's people really love it, and it's nice. It's just all in the kind of lifestyle that is 311. We have our own beer, we have our own cannabis products, and
what kind of products do you have?
I have kind of taken the lead on Grassroots Uplifter, which is our own single-use vaporizer. It's disposable / recyclable, where it comes filled with half a gram of pure CO2 oil. And we also have a cartridge system where you can, which is kind of the more common way of vaping, where you use a rechargeable battery, and then you buy new cartridges each time they run out. And we're working on a much wider distribution. We've got some stuff planned for later in the year that it's going to be much more widely available, especially in California and Nevada. So it's been a lot of fun to see that come true.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, expanding, and even that's an art, beer and I think that's it's really good branding and smart by you guys. So,
Nice.
and I definitely want to. I'm going to touch on that inside the article.
Cool.
Just a couple more.
And it's all lifestyle things as far as we've got our own cruise. That was just a lot of fun that we did.
How did that go?
Months ago.
How do you do your cruise?
It's the ultimate party for like-minded people. I mean, if you're a 311 fan, even if you're just kind of a part-time 311 fan, everybody says it's the best vacation they could have. It's 3,000 people get on a boat in Florida, and then we go to various destinations. There's tons of different bands. We had Revolution last time, and we've had Dirty Heads and Pharaoh Monch and Real Big Fish, and it's just this total crazy good-natured party boat. And last time we went to Cancun, and that's an every other year thing. So next year we'll be back to 311 Day, which is more of our convention, and we're kind of looking at different days or different locations of what we're going to have that next time.
Nice. I would love to bring my wife. That might be a good idea. Just to relax,
I think you guys would love it.
Yeah. Let me see. Who has inspired you artistically lately? Or what has inspired you?
Well, I mean, I'm all over the place musically. I'll go from classic reggae to jazz to punk to the latest EDM or what Kendrick Lamar is doing lately, or just really all over the place. But I like 21 Pilots. They've given us a lot of props as being an influence on them, so that's kind of cool to see a younger generation of hybrid music inspired by 311, and I think they make great albums, and I really enjoyed seeing them live last month. So that's a few.
Nice. What are you into, you specifically? I mean, besides, music and your family, is there anything that you really are passionate about?
I'm very into cannabis culture. I'm very into playing basketball. I'm into...
Are you into sports?
Yeah.
Like watching it on TV?
Both. I'm definitely going to be watching playoff games tonight in both hockey and NBA. But then I have my own team that I started about 3 years ago now called Grassroots that's plays in like a men's league, and that's a lot of fun. And we won our division last season, so that was pretty cool.
Who do you run with, basketball-wise?
You mean
your team?
Am I a fan
of? Fan. What's your favorite team?
I think the Warriors is such a combination of extreme talent and also humility. I mean, I get such a good vibe from them. So I probably enjoy watching them most, but I put a little skin in every game, whether it's, East Coast teams or whatever. So,
yeah.
And then I'm also a big Green Bay Packer fan. I was born in Wisconsin, so it's just something my dad got me.
A lot of my friends are Packer fans, and like my brother's a Packer fan. I'm a Buffalo Bill fan. My dad's from back east in upstate New York, and I got the curse.
Yeah, my stepmom's from Buffalo, so you guys have the heartbreak from those years of coming so close,
and then the heartbreak now for 17 years without a Super Bowl or a playoff appearance.
Oof, didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But to be honest with you, Green Bay is my when no one's looking team that I root for. I mean, how can you hate Aaron Rodgers? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's so positive, you know what I mean? He just smiles and does his thing, and he's just the man. He is he's like this generation's, Elway, or this generation's Marino that just go out there and just do it.
Yeah. No, it was amazing to see, and they looked so great. It was heartbreaking how the season ended, but they they have a good team every year, so I'm looking forward to
that Cowboy game was awesome, though, huh?
Yeah, Cowboys thought they were going all the way, and
I
they
know.
were just crushed.
And I live in Oxnard, so it's it's a very heavy Cowboy fans.
Yeah, because they practice around there.
Yeah,
right?
they literally practice right across the street from my house. And I go and see them, because I'm not a hater. I don't like them, but it's NFL. I love NFL. And man, everybody was pissed off. So it was.
I bet.
But they were talking trash all year. Oh, do you see Zeke? You see Zeke?
Yeah. I got to say, Oxnard is awesome. My dad had a house right on the beach for a few months over this past winter. So we went up there and stayed with him and had the family playing on the sand. I mean, that is just, to me, it's like what Malibu was like, 20, 30 years ago. It's just so chill. I love it.
I know. And that's exactly why I love it. Like you can live on a beach and then go, 15 minutes to Ventura, and there's a great music scene going on there. There's bands playing, and that's pretty much our job here. Is we're trying to encourage these younger musicians who go out there and play the local bars and clubs to keep music alive, in these local venues, because there's a time where they didn't want nothing to do with it no more. And
yeah.
So it's
I'm
sort
all for
of
it.
Yeah. All right. All right. That's off. I only have two more questions. One of the questions, you guys have been together for 26 years. Is that correct?
It'll be 27 on June 10th.
That is a long time. That's so many different generations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the key to keeping it together?
I think you have to be willing to accept the group consciousness as, you have to be ready to not get your way, and you have to appreciate that you're better together than you would be
apart.
So, I feel like we stumbled on a really special chemistry, and I'm going to do my best to take care of it and keep it going as long as possible. And we get along. We have a ton of laughs when we're out on tour and in the studio. And so I kind of think I got the greatest job in the world.
For sure. And a lot of bands, they don't and not that I'm criticizing a lot of people, but, a lot of people, they can't keep it together. And even if it's the greater, for the good of, the message that you guys are putting out, or that another band's putting out, it's really commendable. And your fans, I remember walking to school in high school listening to you guys, and I was like, man, one day I want to see them live, and it's just the vibe you put out and the message that you put out, especially with keeping it together. It's just awesome, man, and it's real appreciated by the people who support you.
Thank you. Yeah,
people can
over the years.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
311 has become more of it's not just a band; it's kind of a way of looking at the world, and it's turned into more of a movement than just a band. Of the community that our fans have created themselves through our music is really a special thing to be a part of.
And when you're making another album, do you feel pressure to write, to go hit for the fences and make a hit, or is at this point in your career you guys are like, you know what, this is my art and I love my art?
I think mostly you have to. You can never make really good music from a focus group or something where you're constantly worried about what people think. You really just have to express something that you're feeling and just be honest. And so it doesn't work to like say, I'm going to write a hit now, because it just feels manufactured. You just have to say, hey, this is a cool idea. I'm going to take it and run with it and bring it to the guys and let it develop together. So, there are, we work with different producers, and they're like, I think people would enjoy it more if you kind of repeat this part a little more. You should take that into consideration, but mostly you leave any kind of commercial things aside and just try and make music from the heart. Nice. It's the only thing that really works.
Okay. I lied. I have two more now because I didn't read this. I thought it was. I actually crossed out the question, but I didn't say it. Do you play any games on your iPhone? Or not to say that you have it on your cellular phone.
I was very into Chess with Friends. It was like the spinoff from Words with Friends, but it was chess. I was doing that like constantly, and finally I was like had my face in the phone too much, and so I stopped. But that for me is just like such a man's game, chess. Mm-hmm. But then when I'm on airplanes and I'm stuck there, I don't like to just chill and watch a movie. I like to play games. I usually play either Monopoly or Risk when I'm on flights, and I listen to podcasts at the same time. But that's my gaming history.
Nice. And then my last question, and I couldn't find any. I just wanted to just ask the question. Because I remember in high school I heard a rumor, but I didn't know if it was fact or just, kids being stupid. Come Original, was that originally about who's those guys? Black Eyed Peas?
It wasn't about. At that time, we were kind of tight with them. It was before they were like. Very poppy. They were more of just like a live band. Mm-hmm. And so, we had done some stuff with them. So really the song's just about being original. And then I kind of list off some music that I liked, and I mentioned them. But lately, the past few years, when I sing that song, I'm throwing out my kids' names instead of giving props to any other bands, because it's just funny to me to do. Baby Harlow's coming full range. And that's my 2-year-old daughter. So yeah, they get mentioned, a shout out in there. I would say I also mentioned NoFX, which is just a great punk band. So, and then like I kind of wanted to just point to our different influences, where there's a dance hall artist, Mr. Vegas. There's Ronnie Size, which was a drum and bass that was really hot at the time. And then I mentioned Black Eyed Peas and NoFX. So it's kind of illustrating. I like reggae. I like punk. Mm-hmm. I like drum and bass. I like hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Nick, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. And I wish you guys so much luck. Where's your first few stops on this tour?
We're doing the K-Rock Weenie Roast next at the end of May, and then we're doing the Northern California Cannabis Cup on June 3rd, and then the real tour starts around the record release, June 23rd. It's right around there.
All right. Well, be careful. You guys stay safe out there. And thank you guys for 27 years of ridiculously great music.
Thanks.
You guys are legends, man. So thank you for your contribution to art. I appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. I really appreciate the support, and it was a fun talk, so thanks.
All right, man. Take care. Be careful.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. What up? Nick from 311. Got to interview him. Feather in the cap. Motherfucking ridiculous. So happy.
When the truth is found.